Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Short Sports Show. I'm your host, Daniel Short. Today is Friday, March 28th, 2014. This is episode 50. Oh, man, it's taken us a while. We started this, in September? That can't be right. Somewhere around there we started. We are now at episode 50, and it's awesome seeing the things, I was going to say channel, but the show, I'm seeing it grow. It's awesome. Facebook, we just got over 100 likes. I believe yesterday, which is awesome. A Facebook page, The Short Sports Show. Just go on. Link is in the description. Click on that and give it a like while you're there. Get up to date with some sports news all around. Also follow me on Twitter at @short_sports 24/7. Again, link is in the description. And yeah, awesome news. Crazy day for football. The Philadelphia Eagles are making moves. It's weird, but it's just, are they making the right moves? We'll talk about that in the show. Also, Johnny Manziel had his pro day at Texas A&M, and wow. So, Merrill Hodge, good job. You look like a bigger idiot now. But also, just Manziel, 61-64. It's crazy. We'll talk about that also in the show. And first, we actually have some college football news. Kind of sad news as well in that. But first, we'll start off with Wisconsin head coach Gary Anderson signed an extension to stay with to continue to be with the team. The new deal increases Anderson's 2014 salary from $1.9 million to $2.2 million. I was about to say $100 million, but obviously not that. He will receive a $100,000 raise every year for the next 5 years. So pretty good deal for him and Wisconsin. He's a pretty good coach out there. University of Massachusetts, UMass, will leave the MAC after 2015. They were 1-11 last year, and they're also called the Minutemen. Yeah. I don't think I need to explain anything more on that. Also, the sad news was Navy football player Will McCamey, who was hospitalized after collapsing at practice 3 days ago, died while in a coma. He was only 19 years old. In high school, he suffered, his dad was actually the head coach at his high school. He suffered a head injury during a game late in the season that caused him to be hospitalized. He was cleared to resume playing football after seeing 4 neurosurgeons and undergoing several CAT scans and MRI exams, but just collapsed during practice. They went through the film, and obviously people that were there, the players, the coaches, trainers, all saw that there was no contact. It was just him carrying the ball, just running, and just like that, it's crazy. And I really doubt there's heat up there at Navy right now. So, what really happened, though, I'm sure there's going to be several investigations, not on Navy, but just, on him to see what's going on. And this is going to start a whole nother thing with practices. College football is going to start coming down, looking at, the NCAA is going to look at, all right, we got to make sure practices aren't going too long. They're going to just shorten everything down and really make sure this, these type of situations, obviously this doesn't look like it was controllable. It just looked like it just happened. But they're going to try to control these type of things. But really sad news. Prayers go out to him and his family. Moving on to NFL news, the biggest news, obviously, is what happened today, and that's about the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles released wide receiver DeSean Jackson, and then shortly after that, there were reports that came out saying that his off-the-field behavior was a concern, and that Jackson had gang connections that caused the Eagles organization to worry. DeSean Jackson did release a statement after being released, and this is what he had to say, quote, "First, I would like to thank the Eagles organization, the Eagles fans, and the city of Philadelphia for my time in Philly. I would also like to thank Coach Andy Reid for bringing me in. Secondly, I would like to address the misleading and unfounded reports that my release has anything to do with my affiliation that has been speculated surrounding the company I keep off of the field. I would like to make it very clear that I am not and never have been part of any gang. I am not a gang member, and to speculate and assume that I am involved in such activity off the field is reckless and irresponsible. I work very hard on and off the field. I am a good person with good values. I am proud of the accomplishments that I have made both on and off the field. I have worked tirelessly to give back to my community and a positive impact on those in need. It is unfortunate that I have now to defend myself and my intentions. These reports are irresponsible and just not true. I look forward to moving forward and working hard for my new team. God bless. End quote. Now that he's released, we had all those speculations in the past about teams possible trading, who's going to want to pick them up. No one wanted to pick up the money. The Eagles still have to pay. We'll have a $6 million cap hit. Basically, that was the money that was going to go for DeSean, but now it's dead money. So that $6 million, just because they released him, is not free money to go spend on anything. It is dead money. It sits there, and it's still a cap hit. There's one thing to get cleared real quick. Another thing I wanted to get cleared is the talk about DeSean Jackson with all these teams that are now coming out, because now he's a free agent. Clear free agent. No restrictions, nothing. He can sign with any team at this very second, no strings attached. That his other contract is gone. It's nothing. Except for the Eagles. They have to deal with it, but no one else does. So the teams that are interested right now, they're looking, supposedly, are the Patriots, 49ers, Jets, and the Raiders. Also, news came in just as I was working on getting the show ready that Panthers head coach Ron Rivera said, quote, he's an intriguing player and we'll take a look at him. I just got word and this is surprising to hear. He's an explosive player who has great vertical speed and is strong going to the ball, end quote. So now the Panthers, somewhat you could say they are a team in play for DeSean Jackson. But one team that I've been seeing on different areas and different places is that the Seahawks are still interested. Guys, I can tell you, I don't have any sources with the Seahawks or anything, but it's just common sense that the Seahawks, yes, they are interested in DeSean, but they will not go out and try to sign DeSean Jackson. They are not a team in play for DeSean Jackson, and this is why. Look at next season. Richard Sherman, arguably the best cornerback in the game. Earl Thomas, also arguably one of the best safeties in the game. Both contracts are over after 2014. They are free agents. I'm pretty sure, this could be just a crazy idea in my head, but I'm pretty sure the Seahawks would like to keep both Sherman and Earl Thomas. Maybe it's just me. I'm pretty sure they want to stay, that they want to keep them on the team. They have to have money to sign them. Also, Russell Wilson, 2015 season is his last year on his rookie contract. They're going to want, not only is Wilson going to want an extension, but, the Seahawks are going to want to re-sign him, obviously. So that's something that's in play. But the major things with Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, free agents, must keep for the Seahawks. So that's why they would have signed Jared Allen. But Jared Allen wanted money. Seahawks weren't going to offer it. Cowboys can't do it. So that's why Jared Allen went somewhere else. Seahawks, they do have money, but they got to realize, look what's ahead. That's why they let people go. That's why they let Golden Tate go. Walter Thurman gone. They would have kept them, but they need to save up money for next year. So, for anybody thinking the Seahawks are in play or Seahawks fans, yes, you can hope that DeSean Jackson would take the biggest pay cut of his lifetime, but it's not going to happen. There's a good negative 0%, and as you know, there's no such thing as negative 0%. So that's about your odds of DeSean Jackson signing with the Seahawks. Unless, again, he just said, hey, I'll play for, double cheeseburger with some large fries and a sweet iced tea from McDonald's, play every time, and some Skittles from Marshawn Lynch. Then maybe he goes to the Seahawks. But other than that, there's no way he goes to the Seahawks. I'd like to see him go to the Seahawks. That'd be freaking amazing. But sadly, that won't happen. But again, the Patriots, 49ers, Jets, Oakland Raiders, and now the most likely Carolina Panthers are not favorites, but are teams in play for DeSean Jackson. And hopefully my San Diego Chargers, hopefully, since we didn't get Steve Smith, Hakeem Nicks, and every other receiver out there, I could pray, saying, hey, DeSean, come back to Cal. Let's we can't pay you right now this year. We can't pay you any money this year. But let's work something out, incentive base, and also, for next few seasons, then that's when we start paying you. But as of this year, you're going to be broke just like us. Hopefully that could work out. I highly doubt DeSean Jackson goes to the Chargers. But one can pray, right? One can hope. So that's something. But now, what are your thoughts on DeSean Jackson? Where do you want him to go? Where do you see him going? And what do you expect from him? What do you expect from DeSean Jackson? And how do you feel about the Eagles? Are the Eagles making the right decision letting him go? Honestly, I think it was just the money thing that they didn't want to pay him, which, I can see why. I mean, yes, he's still putting up the stats and everything else, but, $10 million just this year, and what was it, 14 cap hit? That's just, it's too much. That's too much. For DeSean Jackson. And I mean, he puts up the numbers. I'm not gonna lie, he puts up the numbers, but I don't know if he's just worth that much money. And maybe, I don't know, but I think the Eagles are doing the dumb thing unless DeSean and the Eagles were just both hard-headed where they just could not restructure the contract. Then I guess that's why. But it's gonna hurt the Eagles. It's gonna hurt them pretty bad without Jackson there, especially Chip Kelly. Wanting to run that fast offense. He's your fastest guy on the team. Yes, McCoy's pretty fast, but DeSean is. I'm pretty sure he's faster. So I don't know if the Eagles make the right move there. We'll have to see. But I mean, one good thing for the Eagles fans, if you are worried about this is the year to draft and be lucky enough free agency after the draft of wide receivers, because there's so many out there. I've said this on almost every show, how many wide receivers are out there. This is the year. If your team needs wide receivers, talented wide receivers, you can get a first-round talent wide receiver in the 4th, 5th, maybe even 6th round. And that's not exaggerating. That is not exaggerating. You look at that list, and you cannot say there's not top talent that you could get late in the draft. Just saying. But quick hits going on around the league. Quick news. Former Broncos linebacker Sean Phillips signed with the Tennessee Titans. The 32-year-old led the Broncos with 10 sacks last season, and he was with San Diego before signing with the Broncos last offseason. Sean Phillips still gets it done. He does turn 33 in May, but he's still got 10 sacks. And Titans, I think, are going to have a pretty solid linebacker foundation. They do have that guy, last name is Ayers, from UCLA, linebacker. Cannot think of his first name. You guys know who I'm talking about. I think he could be a really top linebacker. You're going to have Sean Phillips on one outside. You're going to have Wesley Woodyard, who is a former Denver Bronco, also signed with the Titans this offseason. You're going to have him there in the middle of the linebacker's position. Ayers on the other side. I don't know if they run a 4-3 or 3-4, but either way, you got 3 of the 4 spots, or 3 out of 3 linebacker spots filled right there. Could be a solid defense for the Titans. Not saying top defense, but enough to get the job done with some pressure and helping the team, since they really have no DBs now. So it's going to help the Titans out. Oakland Raiders signed former Jacksonville Jaguars running back Maurice Jones-Drew to a 3-year deal. No financial numbers were released so far. But MJD's going back home, back to Oakland. And, honestly, I hate the Oakland Raiders. I'm a Charger fan. Have to. But if Darren McFadden could stay healthy and actually perform like a top pick that he was, even though he's a veteran, I know he's old. And if Maurice Jones-Drew, now that he has you have to say the Oakland Raiders offensive line is better than Jacksonville's. So maybe that was the reason. Maybe MJD still has it. Maybe the swagger of being back home gives him more confidence and more push, I guess you could say, to get better. You can have a 1-2 punch right there. I mean, they are old. You're going to see some dust coming out their cleats. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Raiders can do that. especially quarterback. Who could be their quarterback? Or, well, I can't say that now. Wow, I look dumb. Matt Schaub. I guess, just imagine Manziel, McFadden, Jones-Drew. It could be something, but obviously that won't happen now. But I think that was a smart signing for the Raiders, and Raiders picked up a good running back. 3-year deal, really, really cheap, because this next signing, who's the best running back, or a second best, I guess you could say, but I really think he was the best running back in the class of free agency this year, was Knowshon Moreno. Signed with the Dolphins, 1 year, $3 million. That's it. 1 year, $3 million. He had 1,038 yards, 10 touchdowns. Awesome. Best out of any running back in this year's free agency. 1 year, $3 million. That's it. Running backs are looking pretty bad. And I think there's an article on Bleacher Report saying is the running back value the worst we've seen in football in a very, very long time, or ever. And yeah, it really is. I mean, Knowshon Moreno, I think he still has it. I think he could be your starting running back, give 15 carries per game, if not more. And, even with Peyton Manning as a quarterback who's throwing the ball like crazy, still rushes for 1,000 yards, still gets 10 rushing touchdowns. Just saying. Pretty solid. But Dolphins got a good pickup there. Now he's going to be paired up with Lamar Miller. Woo! I'm just saying, that might be a good 1-2 punch right there for sure. That could be really nice. Moving on, Houston Texans strong safety Daniel Manning restructured his contract. He was scheduled to make $4.5 million this season with the $6 million cap hit. Now will be lower, but again, no specifics were released. I could not find any money numbers for Maurice Jones-Drew and Daniel Manning. So if people know, let me know, because I would like to know. But he's going to stay with the team. Texans do have a good, solid, or up-and-coming, I guess you could say, safeties. You got Swearinger, who I think is going to step up this year. Could really do something this year. And, wow, name slips off. I didn't write this down. Anyway, they got a got some good safeties coming up. Could not speak. And speaking of babbling, it's probably what Ray Rice did after he found out what happened yesterday. He was indicted by a grand jury yesterday on a 3-degree aggravated assault for allegedly, quote unquote allegedly, striking his fiance unconscious, just want you, baba, made change fall out of her pocket or purse, knocking her out last month. In New Jersey, where this happened at, a conviction of a 3rd-degree crime carries a potential prison sentence of at least 3 years, at least 3 years, and up to 5 years, and a fine that could be up to $15,000, which money is really not an issue since he signed like a $35 million contract last season. It's not a problem, but there is that little lining right there. One, it does say carries a potential prison sentence, so obviously, since he's I'm not trying to give any favoritism or anything, but since he is a football player, we've seen this type of thing happen before. He could just, since it says potential prison sentence, he could slip away from that. They might just make him pay more of a fine, which again, in the end, is not going to hurt Ray Rice because he's got money. But Ravens owner did say that he said Rice has a future with the team despite the arrest. So we'll see. But Ray Rice, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Moving on, the New England Patriots and defensive tackle Vince Wilfork did restructure the contract after Wilfork said, I want out, cleared his locker room, and said, I'm out, not playing for the Patriots no more. Come on back. Roll him back into the locker room because he signed a new extension deal, whatever you want to call it. It is for 1 year and $8 million, with $3 million guaranteed, and there is an option in there for 2 more seasons that could bring the total value to $22.5 million. So basically, it's a 1-year deal, $8 million, with $3 million guaranteed. But if he feels like, hey, either we won the Super Bowl or we have a really good shot again of winning the Super Bowl, you got 2 more years, or just the money, just saying, hey, I can get $22.5 million more if I just play the next 2 seasons. So there's that, but he does stay with the New England Patriots. And Falcons wide receiver Roddy White pays up to his Mercer versus Duke bet on Twitter with the fan. Remember, he was saying that he wasn't going to do it. He was only going to give him 1 game against the Bears, and that's it. Well, he's living up to the bet because I guess he won. I'm pretty sure the Falcons organization said, if you don't do this, it kind of looks bad. Not only it looks really bad on you, it kind of looks bad on us just because you are with our team. But if you do go ahead and give them the season tickets on the 50-yard line, not just 1 game, the entire season, hence season tickets, you not only look like, a hero, you somewhat of a hero, you lived up to the bet, but it looks good on us because not only did they give him that, this is what Dylan Hoyt, the fan that he bet that Roddy White bet it with on Twitter, he's gonna give him more. And I'm pretty sure the Falcons, said, yeah, we're going to do this because it's going to go viral on social media and everything, and it's going to make us look really good. Endorsements, money, other stuff. We're going to look good. Not endorsements. I don't know why I said that, but it's going to make us look good. This is what else the fan is getting. He will receive pre-game sideline passes to any 1 game and will be a guest at Roddy White's training camp, where he'll sit in a VIP section and talk to the players after practice. All because he went on Roddy White's Twitter and said, hey, guarantee you Mercer beats Duke. Let's bet this. And that's what happened. So, fans, if you're out there, March Madness isn't over yet. March is almost over. Madness isn't with the college bracket and everything. It feels like Dayton's going to win it all. Go out on whoever your favorite player is. Go out on their Twitter, say, hey, I guarantee you Dayton wins the entire championship. Wins everything. College, they cut down the net. They're champions, right? Hope and pray and hope that player responds. Probably won't after seeing Roddy White's thing. And maybe you might find yourself lucky. He might say, you know what? There's no way Dayton wins the championship. Let's go ahead and do a little bet, even though the player isn't going to get anything most likely. Bam, you might find yourself. And if you do that and that somehow happens, since this is recorded, this goes out to multiple things, hook a brother up. I don't care if it's in Cleveland, if it's in Buffalo, if it's in, what else is a bad area? Jacksonville. Florida's still there, it's in Florida. So hook a brother up, let me know. I want to join. I'm just saying. But anyways, there is an interesting story. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was about Peyton Manning it came out today. And it said when Manning was a free agent, he asked his agent, Tom Condon, what does Tom Brady make? This was the time period, obviously, when Manning was a free agent. And when he was just about to sign with the Broncos, he says, his agent replies, $18 million is what Tom Brady makes a year. Then Manning replied saying, then I don't want to make a penny more than that. Well, it kind of happened. Manning was so upset, mad, pissed off basically at his agent when he found out the Broncos offer was for $19.4 million annually. And he told his agent, I told you I did not want to make more than Brady. The agent, Tom Condon, called Manning's wife and Manning's wife replied saying, I'll take care of it. And then persuaded Manning to take the deal. So in the end, Manning does get paid more. But it was pretty interesting how that all worked out. Manning didn't want to get more money than Tom Brady. Now, is that a sign of just respect? Or is it just because he didn't want the publicity of saying, hey, I now make more than you? Or it could just be a mix of both. Brady does have 3 championships. Manning only has 1. Just putting it out there. Brady's been to 5 Super Bowls. Manning's now been just to 3. 1 and 2 now as a record. Who knows? Who knows? But it was pretty interesting to see that. And finally, the story we all been wanting to talk about is Texas A&M. Well, now I guess you can't really say Texas A&M anymore, but Johnny Manziel. quarterback Johnny Manziel, his NFL Pro Day was yesterday, and wow, just wow. And I knew it. I knew it. I knew he was going to be good. 61 of 64, had 2 drop passes, and he threw in his helmet and pads, shoulder pads. Need I say any more? Is there anything else to say that this guy isn't your number 1 quarterback taken? If not, should be the number one pick overall in the NFL draft. No other quarterback has thrown in helmet and pads. He had 2 drops, 1 bad pass. 61 of 64. Johnny Manziel is legit. This guy has no bust written on him. So Merrill Hodge, what do you have to say? I don't think I've read anything of him coming out and saying anything. I think he was just like, oh crap, okay, yeah, I was wrong. Obviously, I know that stupid guy Jaworski, yeah, him. He said Manziel did awesome. He did great, and I moved him up in my board. He moved him up from a 4th rounder to a 3rd rounder. Are you kidding me? Jaworski, oh my God. You should be fired as well. And I think he's just upset because he's no longer on Monday Night Football, so he's trying to get his name out because his name is no longer cared about anymore. Just saying. Johnny Manziel had an awesome quote. He always has an awesome quote, and this is what he said when he was asked, why did you wear the shoulder pads? And this is what he said, quote, you play the game on shoulder pads on Sundays. Why not come out and do it? For me, it was a no-brainer, end quote. Bam, right there, you just wowed me. You didn't even throw a pass. It's incredible. But anyways, Johnny Manziel is Johnny Football, top quarterback. There's no way he shouldn't be. Not saying he will, because obviously you can't determine what teams are going to do. Texans might want to get Clowney because they feel like having Clowney on one side, J.J. Watt on the other, let Bill O'Brien develop Case Keenum, TJ Yates, whatever his name is, or whatever quarterback they decide to get later in the draft, and go with that. Because that is an option, Or you get Johnny Manziel and just have one of the best offenses. I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's going to throw 4,000 plus yards. I'm not saying he's going to throw 30 plus touchdowns. I'm just saying Johnny Manziel is the number 1 overall player in this year's draft. And he does. I mean, he took the risk of throwing in the shoulder pads and having the helmet vision. You saw every other quarterback, at least in this year's draft and on their pro day so far, thrown with, Under Armour or, one of those Under Armour type shirts. Maybe depending on where they were at, maybe a little jacket type thing on them that represents their university, and that's it. He came out and threw in shoulder pads, and it's like, that's awesome. He took the risk on it because it could have been bad. But now it shows, hey, this is what you're going to see. Consistent basis. I'm throwing in shoulder pads. That's what you're going to see in the games. Bam. This is why, just that alone is why he's number 1. Just saying. And anyways, here's a quick funny note thing on Manziel at the Texas A&M Pro Day. A lot of people went there, including George Bush, President George Bush, not the most recent one, the older one, the first one. And anyways, Manziel was listening to Drake. Had Drake playing throughout the stadium's PA system. And in some of Drake's songs, they have a few words, on there that, hey, they might be a little explicit, just to say. Well, anyways, when 89-year-old President Bush entered the building, the soundtrack quickly switched to an edited version of the same songs. That's funny. I don't know why. I found that funny. I started laughing when I read that. Obviously it's respectable, that's what you should do. But I'm just saying that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. But moving on, probably the best news of all. Actually, it's not really the best news. It's kind of bad news in a way. But anyways, to wrap up the show right here, The Chargers and new San Diego mayor will meet to see about the possible new stadium for my Bolts. My Bolts. Wow. Chargers. Quote, the Chargers are incredibly important to the city and the region. I firmly believe that it's in... Wow. For everyone, I did not know that word. For everyone to work together, my main priority is going to be ensuring that any proposal that moves protects us as taxpayers here in protects us. Wow, protects us as taxpayers here in San Diego. That will be my guiding principle, but I am confident that we will achieve that, is what the new mayor said. What San Diego mayor said. Anyways, the Chargers propose to build an 800 to 900 million football-only facility downtown east of Petco Park, home of the Major League Baseball's team, San Diego Padres, that could seat as many as 70,000 people for possible Super Bowls. Anyways, the Chargers could seek a citywide special election for voters to weigh in on the issue as early as June 2015 for approval of a replacement for the ugly Qualcomm Stadium. Now, usually this is good news because they need a new stadium. But I'm hoping and praying that the San Diego Chargers, move to LA. Reason is, if there is going to be a team that moves to LA, look at it. It's going to hurt the Chargers. And I know for most people that probably, other than us Charger fans, they don't care, but if there's a team that moves to LA, you kill majority of the Chargers not only fan base, but also because a lot of bandwagoners would just go off to LA. But money, endorsement, sponsors, everything that keeps a system going, gone, because everybody wants to go on LA and focus there. That's why it makes most sense for the Chargers to go to LA, take the risk, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be successful. Go to LA. Be that team. Your fan base grows, money grows, corporate sponsorships grow. No more blackouts. No more not selling tickets, which is the same thing as a blackout. But you know what I'm saying. And it just makes most sense for the Chargers to move to LA. It makes the most sense. And obviously, you don't want the Oakland Raiders to be the LA Raiders again. You don't want them that close. Come on now. Makes sense to have the Chargers move to LA, be that team. Be the LA Chargers. Anyways, that's it for the end of for this show. I will see you guys next Monday morning. Follow me on Twitter at @short_sports 24/7. Link is in the description. Become a fan on Facebook. The Short Sports Show. Link is in the description as well. If you're listening to iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spreaker.com, make sure you give it a like and share it while you are there. Thank you guys for listening. Awesome. We've reached a lot of goals so far in just a very short time. We've got over 1,000 listens on this show. We've got over 100 likes on Facebook, 140 plus followers on Twitter. It's awesome. I thank you guys so much. You don't even know how much. You don't even know how much, because it's awesome to see every day that the show's growing and things are looking good. Makes me feel better. Makes me want to keep doing the show and get better every single show. So thank you guys. God first, God bless. I will see you guys Monday morning. I'm out.